Hello, everyone. Welcome to Innovation Bre8k, where we curate game-changing tactics and resources for data-driven growth, marketing, and sales. I'm your host, Sarah Osell, founder and principal consultant at Anim8 Collective, and today we're speaking with Efrat Avnet Steinberg, CEO and co-founder of Inner. Efrat has worked extensively with early-stage startups, guiding them through commercialization, conflict resolution, and strategic growth. I'm really impressed by her background. She understands how to align technology with market demand through stakeholder engagement. Welcome. Today, we are diving into game-changing tactics for scaling climate tech solutions, starting early with relationship building during the R&D phase. Too often, brilliant climate solutions face delays in adoption because they don't align with market needs. And our guest today is an expert in startup consulting and mediation, helping founders bridge this gap through strategic relationship building. Welcome, Efrat. Could you give us a little bit about your background to get started?
Yeah. Hi, Sarah. Thank you for having me today. And thank you for the warm welcome to this platform. A little bit, if I'm going back 25 years ago, then I started my career as a lawyer. And I've done that for a few years doing commercial law. But pretty quickly, I was bored from consulting. I really wanted to take the decisions and move to the decision-making table. So through product and biz dev, I moved all the way to running strategic projects in different industries. And I also managed entrepreneurial division inside a big corporate. So really always doing the non-core stuff, the innovative stuff in corporates. This is how I started. And then about 10 years ago, shifted. If I'm being an entrepreneur, why not do it with startups? So I moved onwards to working in a large accelerator that was in Amsterdam. And then after a few years, switched to consulting to startups. And in the last 2 years, running my own startup. During working with startups, I also became aware of mediation, which was a nice closure given my legal background. I saw how mediation is done also with startups, with entrepreneurs, and I loved it. So I've done that as well. And I think it's also a skill that I collected and added to my skill set, which helped me along the way. And so basically in the last 2 years, a little bit more, full-time running Inner.
Yeah. And just really quick one line, what does Inner do?
Wow. So it's diagnostics for EV batteries. That sounds very weird, maybe, but batteries are a sensitive object, and there's a lot to improve in their diagnostics to make sure that batteries are going to be used everywhere. We want batteries to be there in our homes, in our offices, not just the cars. But all along their life, there we see more and more safety events, but also we see that they degrade and stop being used after a while and then recycled. So we are really aspiring to extend the life cycle to make sure we recycle batteries as far away as possible, and we build a CT scanner for that in a machine learning application. So very exciting, very deep tech. Combining imaging and pattern recognition and a lot of things where I'm the last person in the company that actually does the development, of course. But my role is really to open the doors to make sure that the clever guys, actually can develop what they need to develop. So
really incredible technology that will help us in the energy transition. And I wanted to hone in on how excellent you've been at relationship building and in the early R&D stages. So many climate tech founders focus so much on perfecting the technology, which of course you've done, but what you haven't done is delay commercial relationships until it's time to sell. So from your experience, what are some risks of waiting until you want to start commercializing?
I think people are people. It's if it's R&D or sales, or you need to find a way to connect to the partner that you're talking to, and to So if you wait too long, then you don't have this kind of commitment and engagement. So I think, and this I've seen all along my life and along my career, the best thing that you could do is to first to build a connection, then also to find common interest. It could be that what you're trying to do actually creates a huge interest with a person that is looking for something interesting and inspiring to do in his daily job. Or maybe they're looking for a solution for a problem that you can actually solve in a really unique way. So I think it really starts with, it's not interest in the narrow meaning of it, but really, and maybe I'll give you an example. When I was running projects in corporates in my early career, there were huge projects that I ran where I wasn't the manager. I wasn't the direct manager of the team that I have. So I needed to build it in a matrix management sort of way, meaning I had an activity that I needed to promote, but I needed the help of the engineers and the programmers and legal and procurement and marketing and finance and all of those people, while they have already their plate full. But what I like the most, and this is how I managed to get through with it and to promote this activity, is actually to get them excited about it. And if they get excited about it and it fills their day with excitement and they feel like they're doing something big and new and they are part of something strategic, then that's it. They're part of your team. So you don't need to be their boss, and this way we worked together for 4 years. So I think it's really finding the way to get your partner excited about what you're doing is bigger than money, is bigger than a promotion. It's really, you're adding excitement and engagement and interest to their life. So it's really a win-win. It's the best win-win, I think, you can find in your work. And I think it's really the same if you're an entrepreneur trying to sell a solution to a partner, because it's never about the money. It's more about the added value to the person. If you're solving a problem to them, if you got them excited about something really new, innovative, and beautiful, and now they can take part in it and tell their colleagues, so I think it's really about that. And if it's not interesting, you will see it immediately, and then you need to find another solution, because it will only work if it's standing on excitement and engagement on a win-win.
Yeah. So this kind of really relates to my next question about getting started. How do you, I've heard the phrase, help someone see the mirror of their problems in what you're presenting. How do you think about the different stakeholders in your market ecosystem and how to get started building relationships with them and getting them engaged and excited? And what you're doing is often like, you've got a spaceship that's some amazing vision, and you've got to walk them. You've got to build them their rocket ship to get there.
Yeah.
With your vision. So how do you get started doing that?
It's first of all, it's really hard, and it also, in a startup specifically, it's a lot of trial and error, because you maybe at the beginning you don't know exactly to describe the problem the way it's going to end up. You need to shift, and this is why we pivot sometimes, even tweak the story a little bit. And sometimes it's not even 100% clear what's the problem that you're solving for that specific partner that you're talking to at the moment. So there's a lot of trial and error. But I think after that, it's really, first of all, it's listening. I think there's a lot. We need sometimes to be quiet and really let them talk. And we sometimes, I think as entrepreneurs, and I've seen it so many times also working with other startups, is we're so excited about what we're doing, so we can't stop talking about it. And that's not the best way to develop a relationship with a potential partner. You really need to listen and to let them express their pain and their needs. After that, I think then of course you need to make sure that you answer to the need. and then the relationship part kicks in. There needs to be a connection. There needs to be, you need to like each other. At the beginning, this is so important. As a startup, you wouldn't have, and this is, my world is really B2B. Maybe when you're B2C, then maybe your approach is a little bit different because you're looking at the masses. But B2B, your first 5 customers, you probably will know, I don't know if they're married and if they have kids or where they live. It's really, you need to know them. Otherwise, there's not going to be enough trust for them to take a bet on you. They're the first to believe in you. So there need to be trust there. And we've seen it at the beginning, when we started working with, we needed our startup is really heavily relying on R&D. So you need to really develop also relationship with research institutions, with academia, with people that have knowledge that complements what you are an expert in. So this also, like, there's a lot of face-to-face and time and visits and brainstormings, and the same with customers also, visits and going and learning from them. With one partner, we also, I felt it was really effective to be a fly on the wall, with them. We just took the team and we just sat there, okay, we're just taking notes. You do your thing and we're just learning. And then at the end, we're going to ask questions. So this kind of thing is really a personal but so important way to really understand your value.
Yeah, and I like that you said trust, because they're going to need to trust you through the times when you fail, and you also need to be honest about there could be potential of failure in this process.
Yeah,
and if we are honest with each other, what are we doing when we fail? So having those proactive conversations and then willing to face the hard conversations when they do happen. So this kind of brings me into another question. What role does conflict mediation play when navigating partnerships, especially in multi-stakeholder environments?
Yeah. First of all, I think this is something that a lot of entrepreneurs miss, because you're always in execution mode, right? So you want to sell, you want to build, and you never really, but often you don't stop to really work on the relationships inside the family. So and this is really important. This is what I saw when I was working for Startup Bootcamp. That's where I worked a few years ago. I saw that they were doing mediation work with the entrepreneurs, meaning once, I don't know, every few weeks, there was an external expert with the team. It was just the founders. The door was closed. Nothing got out. And this was the opportunity to talk about the hard things, the roles and responsibilities, money, equity, division, the strategy, even, are we listening to each other? Do we actually, are we running the company together, or is someone doing more than the others feel comfortable with? And I think sometimes there was magic in the room, because it's just you don't need to say anything. I mean, the third person. And I think it's a really important platform. After I seen it there, I also did my own mediation certification, and I've done that as well for a couple of years after I left Artbudo, before I started Inner. And I loved it. And I think we're trying to implement this within our team as well. We're three co-founders running the company. And I think we put a lot of emphasis on being really good friends with each other, to really listen to each other, to really know our own limitations, to all the time check in, is everybody okay with what's going on, and to make sure that we feel comfortable to raise red flags if there's ever a need for that, or to say also, stop, let's rethink this, because sometimes, just to make sure we're not caught in the momentum of execution. I think it's really important. And I think it's the same also with other stakeholders. You need to, I 100% agree with what you said. There's a lot You need to be transparent. You need to always be open. It's okay also to fail or to change your mind about decisions. And as long as there's trust, then it's okay. You can it's the good path forward.
I'm reading the book Radical Candor right now. So, have you heard of that book before?
No.
Oh, okay. I appreciate that they talk about kindness. So, kindness doesn't mean being
Mm.
nice. Kindness means approaching something with honesty and respect. And
Mm.
it talks about how in companies, especially early stage ones, can move into if they do not exhibit radical candor and speaking the truth with kindness and respect, they can move into maybe more authoritarian structures where it's very top down from the CEO, or a very hands-off structure where people just aren't dealing with problems, and that can lead to failure. So how do you balance this relationship building with the technical work of actually doing the R&D, building the product? I guess, how do you balance?
I think there's, of course, you always need to. Yeah, nobody stops executing. Yeah, you have goals, you have timelines. You need to meet your obligations. But I think we're trying to build in our company a culture where we can learn from each other the best. And just to give you an example, we have whenever we're doing any kind of change in a company, we're constantly looking for opportunities to involve everybody. So if we're, for instance, we worked on the financial plan and we created the new structure to the budget, then this was presented to the whole team in a team meeting, and then people started asking questions, and then we actually from one of the scientists never saw a financial plan before, we actually got super important feedback that got us thinking about something, and then we tweaked something in the financial plan because of that. And when we did in the past, we did a rebranding. So the rebranding process also, we did it with a team meeting, and also it was so nice to get feedback from people, from scientists, because of course most of our company are R&D people. So it's those are people that usually are really busy with the engineering and the physics and the math and all of that. But I found, and I enjoyed so much to see how fresh their perspective is many times, and how much you can learn from that. And I think it creates a culture where people understand that they have no limits in the feedback that they can bring. And if an engineer is all of a sudden troubled by one of our posts, whatever, or the way we craft the marketing product, or then they are welcome to say whatever they think, because we can learn from each other. It helps us also to get out of our tunnel vision and to see things that we're missing sometimes in execution. So and of course, on the other direction is we also encourage the scientists to present to us. Of course, no, I'm not going to become a physicist ever. Probably it's not my role. But but they present concepts to us, or present high level solutions to us, and then there's also an open dialogue. I mean, why are we doing this way? Can we do it another way? There's actually a customer need that we need to fulfill. Is that the best way to execute it? Can you explain to me, please, why are we doing it this way? It's also, luckily we're doing hardware. So it's harder with software. But of course, when software, it's a little bit harder to ask questions about. But mechanical things or electrical things, sometimes you can actually imagine, see a concept and imagine how it would perform. So so I think creating this culture of it's not compartmentalized, but more we're trying to involve everybody, I think creates a really healthy culture of communication. and interest. I think it's more fun also. So
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. So, how has this led to the growth of your business over time?
it's we're still early. It's just 2 years, so there's more. There's a lot coming. But I think this really helped us to craft a better service offering, I think, pretty quickly, because we try to make sure that the business side and the technical ability really early on can really speak to each other, can really serve the same interest. So I think this helped us, and this is something that we offer, started offering our customers really early on. So I think that was, and this was also done with a collaboration with one of our research partners. So I think this actually is a good example of how you're trying to be creative and work within the limitations of, as a deep tech startup, things take time. But what can you already provide today? If you understand the problem of your customer and try to be creative in how can we bring value already today? It's not it's not 100% of the value. 2 years from now, he's going to get so much better, outcome from our service. But we can already bring a huge value, so let's offer it. And customers are happy with that. So we probably found the right way to go about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it can be scary to go into voice of customer listening sessions, but if you're able to, interview 100 potential customers, get all of the points of features and ways that they envision, or you collaboratively envision solving the problem, then you can go through and maybe prioritize and get to your MVP, as you're saying, minimum viable product. So what can you deliver now, and hit on those value points, and then that gives you the direction to grow your product.
So. Yeah. 100%. It's exactly like you said, and it sometimes forces, and maybe this is something that it forces sometimes the techie guys to become salespeople a little bit themselves, and I think sometimes it's not natural for them. But I think sometimes they do it in a actually a magical way, because they really love the solution. They understand the problem so deeply. So if they embrace it, and I see it in my team as well, they embrace the salesy approach, they can surprise themselves and be really good with it.
Yeah. Okay, so you gave a brief introduction to Inner earlier. So now, if you'd like to tell us about what Inner's doing, what are your goals for 2025? How are you advancing battery safety? Give us the overview.
Wow. So we're working. We have a small team of engineers already working on simulations and a lot about the software side. We're hoping to secure the first pilots this year. This is really an important goal, and we're really a global proposition. So we're based in the Netherlands. I haven't mentioned it, by the way. Yeah, we're based in the Netherlands. So a lot of our partnerships and projects will probably be close to home, but at the same time, we're really targeting. We visited the US a few months ago to talk to the automotive industry in the US. So that's a really relevant environment for us as well. And I'm going to be in Seoul, South Korea next week, because a lot of important things are happening in Korea as well. And in Asia generally. So pilots are for sure very important goal for us. We're also intensively working on our first investment round these days. So that's also a goal that's really important. And I'm busy with that most of my time. And building partnerships overall, I think it really summarizes. There's a wide variety of partners that we work in with, and are constantly looking for additional ones. That's the way to grow. That's the way to get exposed to new aspects of the problem, and to be stronger. So that's definitely what we're doing these days.
Thank you. And before we close up, I love sharing some actionable takeaways with listeners. So what's one book maybe that you'd like to recommend to our audience?
Oh, so then one of my favorite books as a kid, I'm going way a few decades back, was actually a book that was written in Polish. It's called King Matt the First by Janusz Korczak, which I always found very inspiring. Korczak was an educator. He ran an orphanage in Poland, and he loved the kids in his orphanage with all his heart. And he also always tried to give them voice. He had a parliament of kids in the orphanage, and he really tried to empower the kids to take control over their lives that were probably not very easy given the circumstances. And Matt the First is one of his most famous books that he wrote, and which is about a prince that becomes a king all of a sudden because his parents both die, and I think he was 8 at the time. And this poses a huge challenge, of course, on his shoulders. And the book tells about his challenges, but also from a critical perspective, because he looks at the world with this innocent and truthful perspective that kids always have. And he is really surprised by the adults' behavior because, of course, he sees them for what they are. So sometimes people talk nicely, but actually do not really act as they should. So there's a lot of criticism there about the hypocrisy of the adult world, but also the way he feels limited, because of course he doesn't have the power to, although he's a king, so in theory he could have, but he's really limited. But there's a lot of empathy, there's a lot of love in this book. I think there's a lot of softness, and it shows his growth also along the years. So it starts from being a kid and then all the way to being a young adult, maybe. Just a beautiful story, a beautiful book, and I recommend it to. It's not just for kids; it's actually for everyone.
Yeah, I love the throwback to childhood. I think that relates to the entrepreneur's journey very well. We have to do things that we're constantly afraid. But we're constantly trying new things. You have to have the curiosity, energy, and joy of a childhood to even take this risk in the first place and invent something. Use your imagination to invent something that makes the world a better place. So I love that reference. All right, we are at time. Thank you, Efrat, for your expertise today. I especially appreciated the team dynamics, as well as hitting on relationships outside your business as well. For all the listeners, please make sure to check out Inner's website at innertech.nl and find the resources Efrat mentioned in the show description. You can follow Innovation Bre8k on all of your favorite channels: Spotify, Instagram, Blue Sky, Facebook, and Medium. And once again, my name is Sarah Osell, and I'm the founder and principal consultant of Anim8 Collective. You can connect with me on LinkedIn and visit our website at anim8co.com. All right, we'll see you next time.
Thank you.